officially. Can I hear a motion about approving the minutes from the March
So move.
meeting?
Second.
All in favor? That's unanimous. We'll hold off for Ralph for the COA report and jump right over to Van.
Well, we didn't have a meeting last month because of, again, got a couple of guys that are out ill. So we have a meeting coming up in 2 weeks, May 23rd, and hopefully I can give you more information as to what's happening with that. We've lost, we finally got our new member, but we had 2 people that were out with illness, family issues.
Okay, I guess we'll move on forward. Community center budget?
So I just wanted to let you know, I know that probably none of you saw town meeting, but the budget went through, which means our budget was intact, so we're just happy to report that. You never know what we would have been reporting, but it was a great town meeting and,
Quick,
so-
it went well.
Quick?
Quick,
Come
yeah.
on, I got home at 12:30.
I mean, it didn't go on for 3 or 4 days. It was
Okay,
quick
I
in
did
terms
that.
of the day,
It was-
number of days.
It was really a good discussion,
Yeah.
very passionate
Yeah,
side, but it was past my bedtime.
That's fine too, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so do you want to keep moving on to old business?
Sure. Angie at one of the meetings had asked if I knew what, if I could check into the funds from the road races. And I did, and I checked with Cindy from the chamber, and she said they go to high school and tech school scholarships. And they have a list available for everybody who has received it, but that's where the money goes.
Okay, that's nice.
So
Good
our
places,
high school.
Okay.
good
Is
places
it
to go.
Monomoy High
Right,
School or
yeah.
does it go to all high schools?
Monomoy.
Okay.
And she is hoping to start back up with the health and wellness for children, and she was gonna be in touch with, Eric and you, I believe, sorry.
Oh, okay,
So,
that's okay. Oh, as long
um,
as they're doing stuff. This is
yeah, and it's going to children, but she did say that. So yes, I spoke with Cindy about
good.
it.
Thank you very much for doing that.
Okay, and
Kind of scholarships, what kind of money do they give for scholarships? You have any days? I do.
I don't know, and I didn't
Yeah,
ask. She did say it's posted. I'm sure I can check on her
Yeah.
website and see it. but-
Basically for the seniors? For
Yes,
seniors?
yes. I don't know there's a criteria or what it is, but
Mhm.
I can certainly find out,
Yeah.
get the
Yeah,
information on what the
Terrific.
criteria is.
if they're offering it for both schools, that's even better.
No, that's good, that's good.
Yeah, it's definitely the tech and Monomoy.
Why am I losing my mind on the Board of Selectmen meeting request for the pool?
No, you're not. There was a woman who came before the Board of Selectmen to ask for, good morning, a blessing, more or less.
Yeah, she asked for our support. She wants to,
Hi, Ralph.
which
Hi, Ralph.
we gave. We don't have any money to pay for that now. And as you know, Kevin knows this, I'm sure better than I do, but I've been here since 2000. And the pool discussion's been up since that time, when this building was built, because it was.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we just don't have the funds to pay for it. And that's actually, for me personally, I can think that's the least of my concerns, would be the operation of it afterwards. 'Cause it's expensive to operate.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't
absolutely.
sure if maybe she was walking in with $5 million.
She came in front of us asking, she wants to see if she can gather up, volunteer funds, charity, grants, whatever, outside of the commitment from the town to pay. And we certainly support that. If there's funding available, we'd all like a pool. It's just, we don't have the resources to do that. I think you were involved with this too, Karen. I don't wanna keep pointing my fingers at you, but a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, YMCA was looking
Mhm.
at a site that we very much encouraged as well, because they were looking at, basically where we bought the property for housing here recently. That area, just on the intersection of 137 and Route 6. And that kind of fell apart. They were looking at a couple different sites, and I think they ended up going to Hyannis right now, but I'm hoping we don't have a place on, lower to Outer Cape, so we're hoping she'll come back, and we encourage her to contact them as well, so. Yeah, we're giving moral support as strong as we can, but at this time, we don't have enough resources to give fiscal support, is what it comes down to.
Do we have any kind of a bottom line figure for construction of a pool? I'm not talking about maintenance, the indirect costs, but
I don't
To-
think it's
to-
ever gone that far.
No.
Do you, Carol?
The last time I did a study for it, which I'm gonna say was at least 5 years ago, the number was about $8 million.
well, you can add more to
And I'm
that.
sure it's increased since
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Double that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Right.
5 million was a low estimate on mine. That was for the kiddie pool.
Right, and that, that did include the structure, but also the
maintenance
necessary
and-
pump rooms, not
maintenance,
no,
Not the
just the
operations.
actual building
Building
of
of
it.
the construction.
Building it.
8 million, and that was 5 years
At
ago?
least 5 years ago, and I
Wow.
can check that, and that's why it's on your agenda. I just wanted you to know that
No.
the selectmen had given their support, which I translate that they would like their staffs to help too. So when she reached out, I wanted you to know I'm helping in any way that I can, giving her the
Correct
information.
Right. And we would always support it since
So-
it was originally on the plan for the building.
Could we think about, is there a possibility of considering a 5-year plan to construct the pool where we can get some CPC money over the course of 5, 6, 7 years? And you earmark X number of dollars to the project every year?
Yeah, I think so, but I think the best course now is as Carolyn says, let her and others in staff help this group out and help them develop a plan and, let them go forward at the
Mhm.
moment.
Has anybody looked into the state grant programs for recreation?
I do know that this woman and her team,
Yeah.
she got involved because her daughter is a competitive swimmer, so there's a coach involved and other parents. They're kind of dividing and conquering the places that they're looking, and I do know that one of them mentioned that they were seeking assistance from
Yeah, I
grant
know that,
program.
I think we're better off letting the process go at the moment. We've
Right.
got committed volunteers
Right.
want to go after, we have staff support.
Sure.
I know that Yarmouth, they wrote a grant, they got money from the state recreation programs, and that's how they did Flax Pond. They redid, I don't know if you've been over there, but there's a brand new building over there, some pickleball courts and all kinds of things going on over at Yarmouth, and that was through grant money that she was able to develop.
I'll pass
Well,
that
Ralph's
in-
happy to hear that.
Yeah,
that information on.
yeah.
I'm happy to pass that.
There's an agency, and I don't know exactly the name of it, but there's an agency in the state that provides grants for additional recreational programs that are on, that communities are thinking about.
Terrific. I'll connect them maybe with Yarmouth too.
There's a Carol White grant that helps out, I know with schools, but it may also tie over to recreation. And Falmouth, Mashpee, and one other school in the Cape utilized it, and they got all kinds of stuff
Okay.
to redo their whole programs in their schools in terms of health, physical education, everything.
We just got a grant, the league, we just got a grant for $8,000 to build a field out and back.
Great.
Yeah.
I will pass this
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Sadly, not 10 million for a pool.
No.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching and wants to give us $10 million for a pool, we will
Take
take it and
Right.
name the pool after you.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, that's a good point. Let me ask you, Larry, if a contractor or a person in town or some company wants to build a field or donate money, is there a way of naming the project after them? I understood that the
There's
Board
a
of Selectmen
process.
said no at one time, that you couldn't do that.
No, I don't think that's right. I think they just need to ask us.
There is a naming policy that the Board of
Yeah,
Selectmen
maybe that's it. What's the naming policy, basically? What's the criteria?
I think the policy is they request that something be named for someone, and it comes in front of the board, and we discuss it, get public input. There'd be a public hearing most likely, and we vote on it.
Oh, so there is no, okay.
There's nothing to stop it.
Okay, good.
I was thinking too, maybe if we teamed up, or this group teams up like with Outer Cape Healthcare, and possibly even, maybe Robert Kraft Foundation, because they give an awful lot of money out. But if we could promote it as a health benefit for everyone, not just a particular group, but from a health perspective, that might be something we might
Why don't we have somebody who is on this committee and also the rec committee, get somebody that represents both? No, but this is the community, the facilities.
That's you.
No. No.
That sounds like a volunteer to me.
He's like, gee,
No, I'm
who's
trying
on
to,
our committee
you know,
that's
be
on
a-
the other committee
Be a
representing?
member of that committee as a liaison to be able to bring some information back as those folks meet. Okay, so
I
keep the
nominate
community.
Still
No,
him.
no, that wasn't my, no. That
Sure it
wasn't.
was.
Ben, you're saying
No,
who on our committee is part of the is the liaison to the
There
recreation
were others,
committee?
there were others
That's
on.
still you.
Zip.
It's okay. I appreciate it. Thanks for volunteering.
No, I just think that we have to have somebody there that represents rec and, somebody that represents rec and facility so that we can bring back information to, both parties, if you will, both committees. I will bring this to the rec commission as well.
So you're a second?
No,
Second.
No, please.
I'll get the women's, the information too and provide that,
Yeah.
so you can bring it to the meeting for
Yeah,
you.
okay, thank you.
Of course.
So we'll move on.
You wanna go back to the COA?
Where? Oh yeah, Ralph. COA report. Sorry. Welcome.
My deepest apology, I am totally unprepared to give any kind of a report today.
Not a problem.
I have a family company and I just never got around to putting anything together. Sorry about that.
Family does that. Okay, I guess we'll move forward to new
Sure.
business.
So a lot of you were in on the listening sessions,
Yep.
and I think that what we took away, or at least I hope, because I had sent you all the information that I was gonna send out, is that we heard from more than one person that they're not opposed to fee increases, just that the fee increases were coming at a particularly bad time because they haven't had a chance or an opportunity for their groups to be together and fundraise and do the things they need to do. So I had sent you all my draft letter that I was sending out, and I heard back from most of you that it was fine to go with. In the letter, I clearly indicate that it will stay the same this year, but next year there will
It's
be an
going up.
increase. So that gives people a year, and we can have a lot of open sessions before we go before the selectmen, and have a public meeting, but I feel like we told them a year in advance,
Yeah.
and we were asking for their input, so we listened to them, we did what they asked, now we're gonna meet again. So next year, I think our fee structure and the timing and all the things that we talked about in those meetings will come up and be in front of the Board of Selectmen for a change of fees. So I just wanted to tell you, that's what I gleaned from it, and I think that's what most of you were saying, so.
I agree with
Good
you.
idea and well done.
What I gleaned as well is that these groups that want to use the facilities are willing to donate money and support some technological improvements in this building so that they can hold their meetings, and make them like a Zoom-like meeting or teleconferencing and so on and so forth, that they have money that they would like to donate. Have we pursued that in any way?
So I've pursued a little bit of it. We have put new screens in rooms that are drop-down screens, much like the one in the multi-purpose room. So we're updating on
Are they paying
basis-
for, are they paying for any of this?
So some of them have donated,
Okay.
but truthfully, not enough. There are some groups that have not extra money, I guess no one has that, but money and then there are some groups that really are, each person is giving their, small amount so they can make the room fee. So it's not across the board that I think that we could ask. I will put out a letter if they'd like to donate, and how donations work is they don't technically donate to the community center. Anything that's donated is to the Board of Selectmen.
It's gonna be gifted.
Right, and so then the Board of Selectmen accepts it, so we would put together our wish list of things that we need, and really I was waiting for Jamie, who's on vacation, to come in and tell me, like, this would be good, I know we need a new TV here, and, but I wanted to tap into her expertise, so I thought as soon as we get them in and booked, we'll announce our next meeting and put in that letter, and if you'd like to donate, here's some of the things that we need, and how they go about it, so they know that it's,
Have you you haven't put together a wish list of things that?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with
yeah,
Jamie.
good.
So I have a few things that I know of, but I also, the technology is really Jamie, Caleb, they know
Yeah, right.
everything, and I know little. So they tell me what I need to know, so they're very, very
So
helpful.
if you send a letter out, you say, these are some of the
Yes.
things, and with a cost,
And how it would help,
yeah,
and.
there's a
right,
cost beside it if you pick one or the other?
Right.
Okay,
Exactly, and then we would go through the selectmen.
okay.
Okay, new applications?
So our applications have gone out to all the clubs and organizations, and what they do is they book for a year, but every club and organization, we book on a first come, first come, first return, as long as they have a completed application. So a completed application is that they've listed the town as an additionally insured, they've filled out their applications, and they've paid their fee. So we have a lot of people who just give me the applications and say, I'll get that other stuff. But to be fair and equitable, we are doing it across the boards, completed applications. So we have quite a few back, we have new groups coming back in. This is one of our busiest times because we're doing the ever popular jigsaw puzzle of fitting every group in where
Of
they
course.
can. So I just wanted you to know that was up and running and going well.
Great.
On that note, I would like to commend Carolyn for doing a hell of a nice job at the board meeting the other day that I invited her into, members of the league board. There are 12 members of the board, if you will, the commissioner and so on. And she gave a very nice presentation on the facilities, what's available, what, the process you have to go through, and passed out a lot of good information that the guys really appreciate. Nice job, Carolyn.
Thank you very much.
Bravo.
What board was that?
The softball, Board of,
Oh, okay.
Board of Directors softball group, senior softball.
Okay, everybody's favorite subject, storage.
So there's no misunderstanding of what their responsibilities are when they come in and ask for something. They all know by now what the heck it's all about running this facility.
So storage is on the April 8th one. I can talk about that and then I'm jumping
Oh,
back
I'm
and
sorry,
forth.
I keep looking at April 8th.
But I can talk about it too, but, next year's budget,
Next year's budget.
I know it seems like we just finished and I just announced this year's budget for us, but I have already started for next year. And I think it's important that this group, that you let me know what you're thinking we need. I'm gonna come back to you and tell you what we need, but we're, the selectmen and the town administrator really wanna start the process much earlier, which means that literally I've already started the budget. So I wanna make sure that if there's something I'm missing, so that you get to see it several times, we can tweak it before we move it forward. We don't have the budget message yet, but we always know what we need, and I hope Larry is not listening, but truthfully, I have level funded this budget within an inch of its life. I don't think we'll possibly be able to do it again. I don't know where I could cut from. There are no cuts left to be made. So we can probably level fund the operating side, but things like the 2% for HEA contracts and things like that, it's now impossible. I mean, I'm a team player as much as anyone else, but when you've done it for several years in a row, there's just nowhere else to go.
Right.
So that's where we are, and I want to have those hard conversations, because maybe this board says, well, Carolyn, we're gonna cut something, and then we'll bring it forward to the selectmen, but I want it to be a decision that you all know. If I felt like I could level fund, I would tell you, and I will level fund the operation, but everything has gone up, our trash pickup, and we've stayed at the same budget, or actually a little less every year, so.
So the only thing to start doing is cutting services.
It really, and as you all know, you've seen the budget better than anyone, my services are lights and heat and trash pickup and telephones, and so when I cut, it impacts 4 other departments, so those are things that we need to talk about, so starting it early is gonna be
Well, have you put together a needs assessment of what it is you need to operate the budget, and your wish list of what you'd like to have? so that we can, again, have some paper to work with, some ideas to work with in terms of this is what, you have to have, and this is your wish list, and so on, see how we can blend things together to make a budget that is rational and reasonable and does what we're supposed to be doing here, and that's taking care of the facility. Okay.
Sure, and I do part of that, and Sean Libby does the other part. So
Okay.
the budget will include mine and Sean's as well, and hopefully he can come in as we're discussing some of that to have these conversations, so.
Good.
But yes, we do it together, different parts make the whole,
Having said that.
That does
Go
not
ahead.
include the cultural center at all, right?
nothing
No.
to
Yeah,
do with it,
okay.
yeah.
Having said that, what is the status that you and Eric have been working on in terms of the pavilion that we discussed at one time? Where is that project?
I would say it's slow. I would say that we were really focused on getting through town meeting, to be perfectly honest. That was our focus of what we needed to do. I think now, I know Eric's been hiring and, for the summer
Right, I
program,
know
so
he's-
he's been kind of out straight. As we get into that, not that there's ever a lull time,
Yeah.
but getting through town meeting and getting people hired was really a top priority, so now we'll go into that. And I know the COA was very involved, so working with the Council on Aging Director too is important.
The three of you working
Yep.
together? Cool, okay.
So,
And let me just, I know, I was listening, and I couldn't ignore, to Carolyn's point, I agree with her entirely, now's the time to start the discussions, because, in the perfect world, we still need to run the center. And so even with the message of, budget concerns, just put together a strong message and defend what you need. And this argument, and the sooner you can start that and get all the background, as Carolyn suggested, I wouldn't give up on, this is an important function in town.
thanks. Storage, I'm going back and forth, but the
Okay.
storage in the building is one of the things that we heard in the listening tour, and I hear on a regular basis, is people are looking for more storage. Where can they store things? So
Who are people, when you say people?
clubs and organizations.
Groups and organizations.
Who don't wanna bring their stuff back and forth, or Andy's in charge this week and then Ralph is, so they have to find a place to meet and switch off, whereas if it was stored here. And although I think that's a phenomenal concept, we just didn't have the space and,
Right.
but I would like to know how the board feels if I delve into maybe seeing about creating a space, maybe someplace in the basement that is locked cabinets, that they would have to rent. I know, I
Yeah.
always sound
Right.
Yeah.
terrible when I say
No.
that, but
Yeah.
we have to balance as
Yeah,
well.
I was gonna ask that about rental,
Right.
like a storage, like.
Exactly.
Now, Carolyn, didn't we, I mean, we've done this in the past.
We have had a group that the facilities committee allows to have storage in the basement, but they do not pay, and it's one group. And I feel like that's a little unfair to everyone. So I would like to put together a proposal leveling the field, saying this is the storage. I would need to work with Highway and Sean to see if we can build or purchase or whatever the right thing is, clear a space in the basement. So there's some steps to it, but I feel like going forward, it would be the right thing to do.
And I think that if you have to construct, that should be part of the rental fee as well. All those expenses should be part of the entire final figure that you come up with for storage. I mean, why should we have to build all of this and pay for it and then just turn it over to somebody for storage? I think that it's only fair that if we have to create a space and build whatever we have to build for that space, that should be part of the rental fee,
It's not
somehow.
even that. I mean, in the past, we had, because we have closets in rooms and that people have wanted to use and store their things in, and I think we just got to the point where we couldn't,
There's one group that does.
right, the quilters?
Huh?
Is it the quilters?
Yes.
Okay. And that's it, because there is not enough, there is no storage. There is the entire basement, which was, when you talk about building things, it was supposed to be built out as more, usage, not just storage. It's a lot of space in the basement that's being unused or underused, I guess is the word.
Is there a lot of empty space in the basement?
Yes,
Still, yeah,
yes.
okay.
It needs to be organized, and some people in the building are more organized than
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
I'm happy if you want sometime, you come in and you wanna go see the basement, I'm happy to take anyone down there. And one of the reasons I'm proposing this goes back to our budget. I think that if we could go to the selectmen and the people with ideas of how we're going to try and help, whether it's where you can join the weight room and you can rent a locker for the year. People ask about that all the time. Right now, they can't, they have to take their stuff with them. But maybe we set aside, 12 lockers in each men's and women's room, and we can rent those out for a year. I know this isn't huge money, but I think every step helps. That we're showing that, you don't have to rent it, but if it's a luxury that you would like, we can accommodate. So I would like to be able to look at some new and creative ideas of how we can benefit from the building and what we already have in it, while not hurting any of the
Well,
clubs or organizations.
under the circumstances that we're all living in today, there are no freebies, believe me.
So that's what the storage and the budget have to do together.
Right. Plus, we'd also need a policy about what was able to be stored and stuff like
Exactly,
that.
and the
yeah.
town would always maintain a key or the code for an emergency, or have the right to cut the lock, which those
Exactly.
kind of things we would put in place.
Yeah, that's a guarantee.
That makes sense.
Okay. I'll jump back over to software.
Yes, so most of you are familiar with the Council on Aging has a program, My Senior Center. So I've been talking with the creator of the company, software, and he also does my community center. And my vision or goal has always been that we would be more self-sustaining, so that just like when you come to a Council on Aging, activity, you scan in, it keeps numbers, the information that it gleans is so amazing. And wouldn't it be nice if we had that same software throughout the building? So that if you were going into room 3, there's a small device and you can just click and it reads what you're going into. And then we could really have some hard and fast figures of what is happening in this building, who's using it, the things that we've always wanted but have been so fragmented. We have numbers that we get from our forms. COA's numbers are impeccable, they're excellent, and we should be striving to be better like that and bringing more of that information. And also, our software is 20 years old, so it's a little outdated and could use a big revamp, but that's gonna cost money, and I don't always agree with putting good money into a bad, it's not gonna last us a lot longer, and it doesn't have the capability of doing some of the things we wanted to do, whereas this program that we're looking at does have that, and it can use some of our existing equipment, all of the bells and whistles that you want it to do, so I don't have to purchase some of the things, and it could be throughout the building. So that's the new software pitch.
What are we talking, hundreds or thousands or?
I'm gonna be really honest with you, it's about, the whole system package, to get it up and running, is about $7,000. 7,200, I think, but yes, right in that. And they do have the option of having ads in it, and that's not something I'm really interested in, because you don't pick the ads,
Right.
so we don't know what those ads would be, and at, something like My Senior Center, they gear them towards seniors, which might be okay. I know that's not the option you all went, and I agree with it. But in the community center, I don't know who they're gearing it to, and there's so many different groups that use it. It didn't feel as good. That's about $5,000, so, I'll do some due diligence, but I think that we don't want that.
Well, again, when you put your budget together, it seems to me that you have your wish list and, your direct costs, and then your wish list, and you
Exactly.
list them out, and then let us decide what our priorities are and go accordingly,
Absolutely.
It's a great way also to have data when you have to defend ourselves before the selectmen, you can say, we're serving X thousand people here, whatever it is,
Right.
This is what we're doing.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And even
I-
for grant applications.
And for grant applications, yeah.
And our numbers, I think one of the things that we take for granted is that our numbers grow every year. I know it, I see it every day. But if you're not someone who utilizes the building a lot, sometimes people will be like, well, what even happens over there?
Right.
This
Yeah.
is gonna tell them what happens and how many people are
Yeah.
using it and how the numbers have increased or decreased, which would be helpful to me. If I think, 70 people are using our Zumba class and I look and there's 17, clearly I need to be better at, that's not a program that we need to have 2 of. And so I think exactly what you said, the data is gonna be invaluable,
Sounds to me like something with a great deal of merit, really. So,
I think.
Okay. The gym.
The repairs are done.
Ralph's
You
happy.
didn't like them.
no, that's fine.
Oh.
I'm not sure what happened, frankly.
Oh, there was a hole
I know
in
the
the
patch.
gym. So they had to patch it, and in order to do that, they have to take it out, and then the whole floor was skimmed.
Oh, all right, I didn't
so
realize that.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause the,
It just seemed like a
textures.
long time to put a patch in the floor. But,
oh, there are actually several of them on the
Okay.
other side,
Oh,
so, but yeah, and
I
that
try to
was,
look up and not down. But
that's good, now you won't fall. So it was done.
He won't fall in the basement now.
I found the repair to be very reasonable, they're a great company to work with. The worst part was having it offline for that long.
yeah, that was my only objection.
Yeah, I agree, but that's one of the things, there's no time for us to do things like that. In fact, I just had to post that we have to close the locker rooms on Thursday morning so that we can actually get in there and clean them, because there is literally no time that people are not in there. So to do a deep clean and grout clean, we need to have people, it's a wonderful problem to have,
Right,
but when you close something on people,
Yeah.
they're not always happy.
What's the story with the bleachers? Where, have they been repaired?
Nope, there is one that is, that we don't pull out.
Yeah, right.
The other 3 are okay, they should be
Right.
repaired as well. That is on the capital, plan, to be repaired, so.
What is the cost of that? The
I do
bleachers?
have the whole thing, I'm sorry, Van, I don't have it off the top of my head.
It was a lot.
I'm with Carolyn, I don't have the plan with me.
But I do have the plan.
Do you
and
know
there is-
when it is on the plan?
It was a lot of money, I know.
Next year, right?
Next year, I think. yeah.
I think it's the
Okay,
next year
cool.
coming up. And honestly, one of the things that came from that plan is, which is why I like the multifaceted way that it goes through, somebody who had some knowledge of bleachers said, Carolyn, why don't you look at this? Instead of replacing it with the wood ones, try, I don't know what the compost material is called. And so I'm looking into that, which is gonna give us more life and for about the exact same price. So it's lovely when people can help you out. I really have benefited from working with the different organizations, so.
So just made out of a composite material as opposed to the
Wood.
wood.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's actually what they're putting in all of the new schools. The tech school has it,
yeah, they're all that combined.
Ask
Yeah.
them for their extras, We,
I know, had we been a little bit, their bleachers were actually too long, cause I did pilfer through everything.
Yeah.
okay. New employees.
We have 2 employees. A woman named Lynn Bigelow, who is starting, I don't know if you all remember Artie, he filled in for us. Art Stidel works at the Cranberry Golf Course, and to get us through while we were hiring, and it was winter time, he came over here and helped us, but he has to go back to his regular job. So Lynn will be filling in, and I'm very excited that we hired a young gentleman who is a junior at the Monomoy, and he's gonna be our per diem fill-in, helping us get things up and running. I just love that we're having some youth back over here. I think that's really important. So look for their information in the June newsletter. They're both gonna do a little bio about themselves.
What is,
What's his
what's
name?
Lynn's job? What's her job? Sorry.
Their job is weight room attendant, both of them.
What's his name?
Joshua, please.
Sorry, let's just
Yeah.
call him Joshua. We'll
Yes,
start with
I have
Joshua.
his last name, yes, but
Or Josh, welcome. Unless you go by Joshua.
he goes by Joshua.
Then welcome Joshua.
He's lovely.
And
Very
Lynn.
excited to have, yes.
Welcome both.
Yes, they're very nice. I'm happy to have them both. We'll see how that all works out.
Okay. Finally, down.
I'm sorry.
Any other new business that anybody wants to add on? I think that's good for now, since that's April and May.
I know.
The director's update, that should be.
Very fast.
Okay, go for it.
The after prom happened. It was very successful. There was a great group of people. I was here until about, I'm gonna say I made it till 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then I didn't, because I had to be back here the next day, but they were lovely to work with. And I don't know where we stand, but I think that one of the reasons I have this on there is because as the after prom event grows bigger and bigger and the group chooses to come over here, I don't know, I mean, they didn't want to be at Chatham, they like being here, isn't that terrific? Sorry, Chatham. But one of the things I think we need to
Bragging
look at
rights, Larry?
is that it's very difficult for the staff in the building to be working while people are decorating around them and stuff. So we might need to look at that, and I think that what we should look at, and maybe for our next agenda, we'll be looking at the building closures and what we do. I know it was brought up at the selectmen's meeting that, while town meeting was happening, our weight room was open, and I did look in the book, and there was a softball meeting right before, and, are we keeping people from going to town meeting? So I think those are discussions that we should have, and what's the best use? I'm not saying we're giving people a day off or anything, but how do we accommodate both those things? Because it's getting much more difficult as they're more and more elaborate and they wanna come in and, you know, there's cords running and there's seniors walking and
So are you,
I don't think the intent of that was so much against what's going on. It was, can we make town meeting a spatial event? And so, you know, it's the only thing going on in town, because we like as many people as possible to attend town meetings. So it wasn't so much, you know, fear of interfering with other activities, just can we make it, we're talking about, do we move town meetings to Saturday to get attendance? We're exploring different things. But, you know, so I think that was, can we make it a big deal?
so Carolyn, what are you currently doing for the bill? Are you just closing it at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Or
no,
you-
it's not closed at all.
So since town meeting is later, so you're not stopping meetings other meetings that are happening in the building?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, maybe you should think about that.
And that's what I wanted to bring back to the board. I'm gonna
Maybe,
go back
maybe,
and
you know,
do
maybe you
some
have to take a
research.
stand that, you know, there are priority programs, and when the priority programs are scheduled, we shut down other things so that these priority programs can, in fact, do what they have to do to be ready. I mean, I think a committee or a softball group or whoever, just say, no, you know, you can't have it today because we got something going on.
Right.
And the same with other organizations. I'm sorry, but we got this is a very important project. I mean, if you
I don't say no to anyone.
I know,
I-
you gotta,
I understand it. So
yeah, I hear you, but you know,
the
sometimes.
question of the day is, when should we discuss it formally, I guess, is the
I'm gonna
question.
put it on one of your agendas.
There are only two really important areas that we're looking at town meeting.
Right.
Which takes up 2 nights.
Yeah.
On average. And then after prom, right? Those are the only 2 biggies that are actually shutting anything down or interfering with everybody else. So
Those are 2 off the top of my head, but I would love to look at the calendar and make sure I'm not missing
Okay.
one, because those are fresh because we just had them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if it's just those 2, that's not too bad
No.
to move everybody else. If we tell people
I
way in
think
advance.
I think that
right,
committees
yeah.
should understand, you know, that we have these 2 major priorities, programs going on, and you know, we'd appreciate your consideration and just stand away for a day or so, whatever.
But the after prom,
Just say the board
Town
is
meeting-
done executive.
Town meeting, I'm definitely for. The 2 days, we could
Yeah.
at least scrap any.
others. And the after prom people.
Any
you know, you can ask the other
evening.
people to volunteer to help
It's really
out.
just the evening
You know,
stuff.
Yeah.
maybe they could, you know, give to the town, help the kids, you know.
Or even better, move it to a Saturday when more people would attend town meeting,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, I
Well,
know
that's
those are
somebody else's.
conversations,
That's
yeah.
a,
Yeah.
I don't know whose decision that
I
is.
don't
There might
know.
be a official,
Yeah, we've discussed that in the past, and the truth is, it seems like there'll be more people around Saturday than in the evening,
Mm.
but when we discussed and looked at other towns, it's not necessarily true.
No.
People wanna come, they wanna come, they don't.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You know, the nights that it happens.
You know, people that work, you know, they want their Saturdays to do their errands and do
Yeah,
their work
yeah,
that they,
Yeah, we're looking at that.
Yeah, good.
I would suggest though that, on this particular issue, you kind of don't get in front of it, but kind of hang back a bit. Cause I like this to be a message to the town in general.
Mhm.
You know, their chamber activities, for instance, may interfere or whatever, that we wanna make this a big deal. And you're an integral part of it, but we have other things too. It'd be nice if we could do, you know, celebrate town meeting and say, okay, just leave that open.
sure. It's really just an evening, I mean, it's a small amount of time. Even if you stopped it at like, I don't know, 5 or 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'll definitely wait for direction, but at least we have in our thoughts about like the after prom and things like that, and I'm gonna look through the book and see if there's anything else that we should be talking about.
So what's these, okay, so I'm gonna move to after prom just to talk about that, since actually we're talking about it. What's the specific issue with them decorating? Is it just the amount of time it takes?
Yeah, they come in the day before, and they're here in this building all day, and they, like, for instance, again, I love the after prom, I'm happy, it's an important thing, but they had, fish wire that they strung some leaves on, and the leaves weren't on it yet, and they had, one person was holding it and the other person, and somebody walked right into it. It's really, there is danger.
Sure.
You know, there's ladders up and we're a very busy building with an
Right.
entire population, from little kids who are running through those ladders to seniors to everyone in between. The person who walked into the thing was a young adult, so it wasn't like, oh, they weren't, you just can't see it if Angie's
I
on
know,
one
I know.
side.
Right.
So, you know, one year, this was years ago, they actually taped someone into their office. Like the person was working, it was at the recreation department actually, and they put up like paper and stuff, and Lee couldn't get out. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but
She had to climb out the back window.
they're in their own mode where they're trying to get stuff done, and they're on a limited time.
Come on, there's a window.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
We're on the first floor.
So those are things I think we need to think about, is just, there
Okay.
is really 2 full days of setting up, where they have a lot of apparatus. Sometimes they want ladders and lifts and things like that, and,
Right.
you know.
So maybe we should throw them over to Chatham for a year.
Well, at one point, we were trying to
work on
go
alternate
back
Yeah,
and
we-
forth and back
Yes,
and forth, but then, you know, if, it's very hard, I believe this is the community's building, so certainly when our students and parents want to come here, I never wanna say no,
I agree with that. I'm never gonna turn
It's
them
the
away.
layout. The layout is so different.
yeah.
Oh,
And the
right, I know,
atmosphere
I've
is
been there.
different.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they like it here.
And I think the facility's larger, isn't it? as
Yeah,
well?
there's a lot.
It's
more
just,
benefits.
we're spread out and
Yeah.
they're,
Right.
Better for-
Yeah.
they're stacked on top of each other.
So, you know,
I'm sorry, Cal, I was just wondering, you know how they were talking about the cultural center, there's all these empty rooms or whatever. If we shut, this is just theory, shut the community center down the 2 days town meeting and after prom, is there rooms over there for those, let's say the softball meeting was meeting that day, could we move them temporarily just for that one time over to the cultural center? In an empty room? Is there?
so I can answer to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
You know, certainly right now there are, and I know that it has been called a municipal building a lot because there are changes in store. So could I say right now if there'd still be open rooms? I cannot. Can I say today? You know, I know the library is an open space that has an exhibit in it, but could you put a meeting in there? Sure. But do I know if they're doing
Yeah.
something? I don't have that information, and I don't actually know that there's a full-out plan yet for that. I know that's what's in the process, so.
And I think to just add on, I think I agree with Larry's point about saying, not be pushing them to other buildings, basically like closing down the meeting space in town for the
Okay.
evening. You know, you can wait a week for your meeting.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a couple
yeah,
days.
course.
It's not gonna kill anybody to
I'm
not have
making
a
all of
meeting.
you say no to the nice people of the
No, no, no,
town.
no, you know that, I'm just saying for town meeting, like, it's,
Carolyn, if you need support, just say the board has made the decision.
say the chairman has decided to be against you, no. No, I'm not, support all the groups in the building.
Of course.
Just
we are.
trying to support the
You can't,
Board
again-
of Selectmen and the
And these are good discussions
people of
to have.
Harwich
Yeah, I think
to
we'll
have
keep
the
coming.
town meeting and, you know,
There are priority
devote a
programs,
little time to the
Right.
people of the town meeting.
So we did our egg hunt, the DIY style, and the children's group that Angie is so graciously a part of was wonderful and bought us chocolate bunnies for every bag. They were a huge hit. But we did over 300.
God love them.
Right up till the last minute. It was wonderful, so great success, so thank you all. And you did get a big thank you in the
Yeah,
newsletter.
I did, thank you.
Jelly bean guessing contest, I'm
Who won?
amazed at how many, right on the front cover.
Oh, right on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the little girl, she was so
She was cute.
excited and, so yes, the contest, I'm always amazed at how many people do it and the
Yeah.
age range of it and how many people take it very serious and, so yes, it was another successful guess how many. I just think I'm gonna keep putting stuff out and make people guess. We're always doing the coloring pages, and I only put that down because you can get coloring pages anywhere, but people love to come here and get the coloring pages, so please keep coming. We have them for you, whatever you want. It's just, I think that it's one of
Do
those.
it for Halloween too.
We do it for everything now. You can have a spring, you can have a, we'll give you any coloring pages. It's like an outing for some parents and their children. Let's go pick up the latest coloring page. So small things, no cost to it. We're happy to have people coming to pick up those things. Pictures with the bunny was a huge success.
That's cute.
Yes, we had a lot of people stopping. The bunny was out front.
Yeah.
I love the bunny with on the community center picture.
Isn't that cute? Yes. So our newsletters are distributed, and I can't tell you how many more people have signed up. It's phenomenal. We have put them at the chamber and with the library, and they are online. Well, we're on the newsletter. Everyone at this table, thank you all. You've each been featured.
Thank you.
So now I think the next newsletter in June would be our liaison.
Yeah.
Ah,
So I can't hide, huh?
You cannot. Everyone did their
you can
turn.
try, but
So we'll just ask you to give us a little blurb about you so you can say you're the liaison and we'll
Okay.
feature you in June.
Okay.
Thank you. I think it's important. I think people have really appreciated getting to know each of you and what you're doing, so. Art Week, was the first 10 days in May. Yeah, it was,
it happened.
yeah. I'd like to do some more here in this building for Art Week in the coming years, so look for more information on that. Love to have a student exhibit over here
Sure.
or something, so I really wanna make sure we can get more student involvement. The end of the fiscal year, well, it's right upon us, so we are looking, our budget is fine, we will not be over budget. Again, our budget consists of light and heat and all the things that we use during the year, so we're right on target, so. Nothing to report there. I think,
That looks like it.
I think so. June
That's like April and May.
It was, sorry. You usually take off the month of July. I'm only asking because while I put your next agenda together, I don't know if you would like me to leave that off, or if you prefer to meet in the summer. Totally up to you, I'm here.
I suggest skipping July.
I would do relatives of
Yeah.
the yin yang.
Okay, skipping July.
So we'll make sure people know that. So your next meeting is June 10th, and then you'll pick up again August?
Sure.
Okay. That's everything I have. I'm sorry I talked so long this time.
No, I,
No, you do wonderful.
and of course,
job.
I just forgot what I was gonna say, which is okay. Couldn't have been that important.
Oh, Well, that's time, people, you have.
We got less than an hour, it's my favorite committee.
Yeah. Do you have anything,
So-
Carolyn, that you, if I may, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you have anything that you want the board members to provide or support or help you with, anything that?
Trust funds, cash,
Yeah, right.
Don't even care.
Credit cards, yeah.
right, your PIN.
I think that you've all been fabulous. I know I reach out to you individually or in an email, which nobody responds to as a group, so it's legal, when we need something or it hasn't gone through. I try and keep you as up to date as possible, but things like us talking about new policies or fees or things like that, that's what I really need the board for, so I'll put together as much information. And then we'll talk about it here, talk to the public before we go forward to the selectmen. So that's really what it is, but as I always say, if there's something you're seeing or hearing that people need or want from the community center, please just let me know.
And I just remembered what I wanted to mention. I know it's early, but I'm thinking are we having the Halloween party this year? Do we know?
We don't know.
When will we know?
Well, we go,
I know everything is based on COVID and stuff like that.
that's exactly what it is. We make the decisions in enough time to,
It's either packing bags or
right.
dumping in
And we
buckets.
work with the health department and the town. We're always gonna err on the side of safety.
Right.
So if things are spiking, then we're not going to bring large groups. You've all seen the Halloween party. It's controlled chaos, but it is chaotic and there are
It is chaotic.
hundreds of people.
Yeah, that's terrific.
It
It is,
is,
yeah.
it is.
That's great for the community.
Even the drive-through was sort of fun.
The drive-through, very fun. So we'll do what's best, and I don't have that information now, as you know.
No, I don't.
They ebb and flow, but, we will never not have these events. We'll figure out a way if we're driving to everyone's house that wants it, or they're driving here, or, they're inside the building. We're gonna keep doing it because I think it's so important. And I am very excited that the selectmen, in the budget did give us the money to do programming. So we're looking at doing, things like big magic show in the summer, or that one of those vehicles that comes up and you can go inside and touch the reptiles and stuff. I'm not gonna be in there.
Well,
But
as I said during the meeting, we had to, I was getting tired of Carolyn pushing the.
that's right. I'm persistent.
He's just gonna give you the cash himself.
Yes, like just stop her.
Here, just please.
So we are trying to do a lot more family events and things like that, and we want to do an appraisal for adults as well. We've done that in the past, and it's always so well received. If you have something you want to know the value of, we have an appraiser come, and you just bring in that one item. So kind of like an antiques roadshow, but
Yeah, that's always been popular.
yeah.
Quick question. When the softball league builds the field out in back, Bassett Field, they want to put up a shed. Do we have to get permission? They have to get permission to do that, and from what department?
Actually, it's I believe through the selectmen they own.
Yeah, we would gift it to them. But,
Yes,
you know,
but even to build it, you need
No,
to. Yeah.
it just,
Right.
we want
Shouldn't
to,
have to go through the building department.
we're going to buy the shed
Oh, and have it.
and just drop it at a location next to the shed that's out there and back. Now, what's the process? I mean, what's,
If I may, I think the process, we would have to accept it as a gift.
okay.
And then it.
Yeah, we have a lady that's gonna donate $3,500 towards the shed. Okay.
Nice.
And then the details will be part of that gifting, so we can prove it off.
Okay. So it has to be gifted.
Yes.
Okay.
So Larry, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, great job. Okay, I think the discussion on the budget and what you need is critical, and I appreciate bringing that forward and starting early,
Absolutely.
because it's, every year's tough, and one of the discussions that I think kept coming up at town meeting is that, although we'd like to, we don't live in an island in Harwich, and we have the whole national stuff going on. So,
Mhm.
we're always asking, our budget increase, but, people worry about inflation, about the potential increase, and so we can't hide from that, but we still have to run the town. And that's the
Sure.
balance we're trying to operate.
Well, if I can help you in any way with budgets
one
and so
other
on,
one
I'd be
I have.
happy to do so.
If I-
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Certainly.
On your IT, I'm sure you're doing this, be sure to contact, through the town too, because we did approve significant funding to
Yes.
update IT in town, because, the joke is to get to the 21st century, actually, it's not even a joke, unfortunately, we're trying to get to the 20th century in our IT capabilities in town. And this falls in that, so if there's any way you can, make that help you out, or.
I did send it to
procurement or
Joe.
however, I'm sure you would, yeah.
Yes. Oh, the
I
other
was gonna say,
thing.
throw our software request at them.
I did already send it over to
Yeah.
Joe. And also, we are in that same package that Larry's speaking about upgrading our phone system. I don't know if you know this, but I can't transfer from my phone, like transferring. It was around 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Why in this? So there are some
We're
things, that's
desperate
one of them.
needs, and so,
Yeah. And I was
Eventually,
gonna
keep
say-
crying about Arcade Health, we'll get to that.
So we're talking about our 20-plus-year-old phone system.
Yeah, and the people who work at it are great, I have no problems with them, but technology needs to be updated. Oh, the other thing is, I did just apply for a grant, for a bicycle repair station and new,
Like crack?
bike rack. Thank you so much, I was drawing the picture. And if we get that, I will do a big publicity around it, and we'll have a bike rodeo for kids, and I'll work with giving out helmets with the police department, but we did put in for that grant, so I'll keep you posted.
Good.
I'm trying to do more
That's good.
friendly
Mhm.
stuff.
One other item, completely changed subject.
Okay.
We have had in the past the accessibility ADA committee, and we've reconstituted that. We've changed the name to the Harwich Accessibility Rights Committee, which I don't like a lot of name changes. I like that one because we're talking about accessibility for people with disabilities. We had the committee's been reformed. They kind of went by the side. And one of their, we just met 2 days ago, and one of their first actions of the committee will be to, we had done a survey several years ago about where we stood. They're gonna be coming through Caroline to do that again,
Terrific.
to try to get a feeling for those items that we should be doing to address disabilities. In the past, we've tried to get the low-hanging fruit, some of the signs, and we put in a low counter in front of the clerk's office so you could, people in wheelchairs to get in. The main issue we have right now actually seems to be sidewalks. I think by common agreement, just walk anywhere in town, our sidewalks are a mess if you have a hard time walking. They're uneven, they often don't have curb cuts, but in any case, I just want to not warn you, to say we're gonna try to bring up more active. And
Sure.
give you a chance to, if you know something, let them know of, concerns that you see that people are struggling with. See what we can do to,
Great.
put that on the list.
Yeah, of course.
And I just leave you with letting you all know that voting is happening in this building on Tuesday, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I tell you, because that impacts our programming, so just FYI.
Closed, right? Closed for it or
The
no?
gym is closed on that day, Tuesday.
But we're still,
The building is open.
building's still open.
Mhm.
Okay.
Volleyball goes down.
Oh, boy, there you go again, Ralph.
I'm sure we could have slid a net in there, but
I can see you now.
We gotta
playing
build-
volleyball.
Larry-
Volleyball outside.
I'm not even suggesting that because, Ralph would take it. Okay, 10:59, I'm gonna officially adjourn the meeting. So, everybody, thank you.
Thank you, Caleb and Jamie.
Yes, thank you,